Yo, can I get in on this? I want another one, two. One, two. Oh, you thought it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style.
Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya. This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, you know they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gon' investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, you know they showing out. You're smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, you know she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his favor, his mercy, his power.
So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man, ain't no S on your chest. You know where help comes from when you're up or you're down. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
Yeah. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around. Keep the real ones around. INA runs deep, keep the real ones around. Keep the real ones around. The real ones around. INA runs deep, keep the real ones around.
Yo, what's up everybody? How you doing? This is your boy Jedediah, and welcome to Investigate and Advocate where injustice finds no rest. I am your host, and I'm also the proud commander of For the Culture. And today was supposed to be the start of something beautiful, something challenging, something different, something that may literally shake up and stir the entire nation and get people talking and informed and maybe a chuckle here or two. Get you a little R&R, riveting rivals. Now in the same space, maybe not with the same perspective, but definitely with a mutual respect. And guess what? Nobody showed up for work. Nobody showed up for work just yet, except for one person popped in right before we were getting ready to go live. And so we're going to be bringing that individual up in just one moment. I have texted the other two black people And they are on real CP time. And so hopefully before we get off, we will be able to hear from the other two. But ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be the start of what I hope is going to be something that's amazing and great for us all, as we're partnering and collaborating with the likes of Trina Downs, Keith Price, Alicia Nicole, and INA. So I don't know, even the station may change. The name of the station may change. I don't know. Who knows? These people might not want to be associated with no INA. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get there. But ladies, without any further ado, the only one person, before I even bring him up, who y'all think is the only person that actually made it? Who made it so far? Somebody missing, somebody late, somebody made it. Who do y'all think is the person that made it? I'm going to give you all a second to tell me who y'all think is in the queue waiting to be brought on the platform. And the first to 10 is the one that wins. Okay, one Alicia so far. One KP, Trina, Alicia, my mom, Alicia, Trina, Alicia, Trina. Baby Solo is definitely, okay, well. All right, so here it goes. Welcome, Alicia Nicole in the building. How are you?
Hey, Jed. Hey, Live. Hey, chat. How are
How
you
you?
guys?
You know what?
Shout out to everyone that said I was going to be the one that showed up.
Expected nothing different. Of course, you was gonna be the one to be on time, Alicia.
Yeah.
Exudes excellence. How are you doing?
I am well. I'm fresh off a vacation with my daughter and my grandson for his third birthday, and I balled out. I mean, kid style. It was like all about my grandson. I had a ball. I saw family, so I'm just got back last night at like after midnight. So I was tired today, and when you pushed it back, I was like, cool. So yeah, yeah. But
Where'd
thank you,
you
thank you. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope Keith and Trina can join at some point. It is going to be interesting. I'm with whatever. And one thing I like about this, and I want to tell everybody, the cool thing about being on Jed's show, which this will be my third time. The first time it was just me. Second time it was myself and Keith Price. But it's not scripted. Now this is real, like reality TV, because never are we in each other's inbox like, okay, we're going to talk about this, we're going to say this. It's just like whatever comes up comes out. And for that reason, I still don't know how it's going to go, but I signed up for it, and I have my reasons for signing up for it. One of my personal reasons, I want to, bring light to some of the things that I'm sure Jed is going to discuss. I want to bring my perspective, I should say, not light. But so that's my reason, and I'm here, and I'm ready for whatever. I mean, I do mean whatever, and it's gonna be interesting.
That's exciting. So wait a minute though, but where did you go? Where did you get to go on vacation?
I went to Nashville. We just chose that randomly. Actually, I was driving back from Alabama in November around because I was there for my birthday, and I wanted some shaved ice. I don't know why. I just got this, and I felt like it would keep me up on the drive because I was driving solo. So I'm like, I put it in the GPS. It took me down to this area, which turned out to be Broadway Street in Nashville. Never had navigated to that street. I've drove that trip hundreds of times. I went to college down there. And when I saw Broadway Street, I'm like, it looked like a little small Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So needless to say, I didn't get out to get the shaved ice because I didn't know I was going to have to go through what I would have had to go through. So anyway, I kind of filed that in my memory bank. When we were deciding on things to do for my grandson, that memory came up. I found a cheap flight, and I was, the rest was history. So went there. Then on the tail end of the trip, I rented a car and drove back to where I went to college, Huntsville, Alabama. And that was so cool because it's grown. I've never seen a city grow that much in that amount of time. And people have been saying it had grown, but it's really grown. So I really enjoyed that. Got to see family. So yeah, I mean it was a mini vacation is what I call it, but it was, we maximized it.
Well, we definitely love Alicia Nicole over here. She is
Thank
still my favorite, my absolute favorite frontline fighter for the southern suburbs.
thank
And I'm
you.
glad that the trip was good. Glad the trip was good. And I'll be watching. You got your mini, you had a mini reunion. You had, no, you had a virtual reunion. Now we know you had a
Yes.
mini trip. And I think that I should ask you, like, so now that you've been actually spending time with your Meta glasses, are you recommending Meta glasses for everybody?
You know what? To each his own. I make them work for me and for how I interact with them. I did put my prescription lenses in them, so I kind of have them on standby because I'm going to need them if you pull anything up. But I like them, I mean, and people need to be, cognizant of the fact that they exist, and, but mind you, I am respectful with them. I mean, I'm not trying to spy on anybody or catch anyone doing anything. If it happens when they know I'm recording, it is what it is. The light is on, so it's not like you can't tell. It's kind of like a body cam in that sense.
Really?
So, I
Oh, so
mean,
you can
just as
tell that
far
it's
as,
recording?
excuse me?
You can tell that it's recording?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Hold on. So, can you see that?
Oh,
I'm
okay.
recording. Look, so don't say nothing crazy. No, I'm just kidding. So, so yeah, so that's how they work when they're recording. Now, okay, I'm gonna stop. Now, if I were to take a picture, then and it's a quick flash. So yeah, I caught that too.
So
just
there's
discreet.
there's really no way to get caught off guard with those glasses recording, or is that literally just like that model or something? Do they all do that, or do you know?
They all do. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm pretty sure now. I mean, I'm like 98% sure on that. I mean, it's kind of like a privacy thing. So just in good faith, all of them should have it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Medical. So we
Right.
are excited. So let me ask you a question, Alicia. Let's
Mhm.
get the show right out the gate. Who you think is late and who you think missing?
Who do I think is late and who do I think is missing from this? I can see. I don't think that's fair because I think I could see based on the settings who's here. It looks like just me and you, but if there's something I can't see, then maybe I'm wrong.
Right now, I'm saying, so which one of the other two do you think is late, and which one do you think is missing?
Um, well, I would think maybe Keith is late because I know he was on a couple of days with you. I didn't get to see it because I was traveling, but I caught like a snippet of it. So I would think he's late. And then maybe Trina's not here because I don't know if you guys have, I don't know how many times you and her have done this before, if ever. I know she's been on your show, but I don't know under this pretense. So that's my guess. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Actually,
One
that's
hundred
if
percent.
you're
Ain't
really
no
slow.
prize. Ain't no prize on the other end. But
Uh-huh.
y'all, that definitely is correct. Y'all, somebody go find Trina, tag her, and tell her, no, don't. You ain't getting out of this. Trina's supposed to be. Trina's supposed to be on here. She is the fourth panelist on this right now, and what we're doing to test out to see our chemistry. Again, I'm calling this a little R&R, riveting rivals. Four individuals who were all at one point maybe on different sides of opinions. I'm muffled. They said I'm muffled, but now collectively coming to talk about things that are affecting them, impacting us. They said that I'm muffled, but can you hear me clearly?
Um, I okay on that little last thing when you asked me, could I hear you? You were muffled on that, but prior to that, I heard everything.
Wow, I'm not sure what's happening, so I'm gonna actually leave you here for a second. I'll be right
Okay.
back. I'm gonna restart the
Okay.
system.
Sure.
We'll be right back. Technical difficulties.
Okay, so I'm gonna read some comments. Hey, everybody. And I see Bria's enough said your coworker is a snitch and she be recording a mess. Um, you'll see a light.
What about now? What up? What up? What up? You hear me now? Hello? Y'all hear
Oh,
me?
I'm sorry, I can hear you. I thought you were asking the chat. Yes, I can. My bad. Yeah, I can hear you. I am so sorry. Yeah, I can definitely. I heard you as soon as you came back on. Yeah, I never really could not hear you, but you're clear now.
Okay, so we do have, we're gonna wait, Keith Price will be joining us in a moment. Hopefully Trina Downs will tap in at some point, but I wanna actually go into some of the stuff that we're gonna talk about, but I'm gonna wait for them to come on before we get like to the main topics of the show. But I definitely, not too long ago, it's all over social media right now. There was a shooting, another shooting that took place in Chicago. Were you familiar with another a shooting that took place where a woman was shot and trying to shield her child from being shot in Chicago moments ago?
I did kind of hear about that. If that was the same tagline as three people shot, I hope that's not two different instances, but one was a mother and daughter in one, and then I don't know if there was a third person in that, but tragic all the way around. I mean, to come back home to that kind of thing, and of course, while I'm traveling, when you say where you're from, people, that's the first thing they kind of relate, the violence. And it's hard to defend it when you come back to things like this and under such tragic circumstances. I mean, that's how I'm going to go out, though, shielding mine. So I totally get it. But, like to have to even do that is just unimaginable.
Yeah, it is. It's insane because it's like the weather starts getting warm, and you kind of know that that's going to be the headline. Somebody's going to lose their life, and it shouldn't be like that. It's been like that for so long in Chicago. Sad.
That's the absolute truth. You're right. And you know what? And it's funny, I had to school somebody when I was out of town. When I was in college, people used to think that being from a place where violence was rampant was like a an accolade, like they wanted their city to be the number one in murders and things like that. It was always a battle with Chicago and Detroit, and it might have been one other place, but the murder capital. And back then you almost kind of you don't really, I don't know where I stood. I mean, you just kind of accept it. But when you get old and when you invest in property and when you have children that are going to schools, that ain't cool. Like the things that we thought was like cool, and maybe we thought it made us cool if we survived in those kind of places. But when you are really out here navigating life, that's like not the lick. That's not something that you want to brag on. Your place being a murder capital is insane. We have to change that narrative, that thinking. I want to be the place where my city got great parks I can go to, which we did that. We Googled a couple of parks. When I got there, I took my grandson to one that I remembered, that was popping 20 year, whatever, when I was in college. And then I took her to another one, was freshly developed. And the difference between the two was like, it was noticeable, the research, it was very noticeable. But my point is, at least they had two parks. But those are things that matter to me, good parks, good schools, good programs, because those are the things that's going to offset this violence that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Essentially, and there's no,
Like,
yeah,
I'm just
sorry.
like wondering if it's, I'm just trying to really think about this from a perspective of, because I was, so a story, something that I just recently was doing. I was in a car, I was actually out of town, and the driver was driving in this one part of town, and he was like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen no white people here." And I was like, "Well, we're in Midtown, we're in the middle of the city." And then they was like, "Well, I live on the west side." And then they drove over to the west side and said, "You see how everything changed? You see how there's no white people?" So I'm kind of like trying to figure out what is going on with our community that we are always been associated with blight, disinvestment, violence. Like, what is going on with us? And how do we fix this? Because it's literally too much and it's everywhere.
Great question, great topic of conversation. But one way, and it's crazy that I'm really just finding that out at this point in my life, and I commend people that are younger than me that's in this light or position, if you will. But one way to not really change it, but begin to change it, is showing up at these meetings, knowing what's happening in your communities, getting out to vote, to put these peoples that are in charge and they're running these meetings, getting out to vote and really exercising our rights. I feel like sometimes we feel so disenfranchised that we don't even see that as something that's going to make a difference. And the more people that buy into that, the less chance we have at changing anything. So, we need people to understand the importance of something that may really seem minute. Even when I was out there, on election day, there were people that were like how I once was, that just really didn't know what was going on, showed up to vote, but didn't know what ward they lived in, which I always knew that part. But, there were other things that I didn't know. But there were some out here that didn't even know that basic thing, but at least they were showing up to vote. And what I did to all of them, hey, come out to the board meeting. They're every such and such, and if you can't watch them on television, know what's going on, and that's how I try to counter it, But if more people kind of bought into what's going on, because that demands action, the numbers demand action, or they warrant rather action, because the more people that show up, the more accountability or more pressure, I guess, is put on to be accountable to things and to decisions and things like that. So that's one way. And I'm just saying that because we're just literally kind of living that in the here and now, or, still, but we also went through, the remnants of that not being in place, so.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be right back after this, because I'm going to get into one of our topics that we were supposed to talk about tonight. We're going to come right back, Alicia Nicole, after this brief video. You might have already seen it.
A unanimous decision today from the Fulton County Board of Elections.
Board members want to hear from a controversial candidate who just recently moved to Georgia, but now wants to become a Fulton County commissioner. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us now from the Fulton County Election Hub in Union City with the night's new developments. Angelique?
Well, good afternoon to you both. Tiffany Henyard is eager to become an elected official again, but she will have to get past the Fulton County Board of Elections first.
I am in the White House. Got a couple meetings I'm about to do right now.
She is bold and boastful, but former Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard will have to answer to the Fulton County Board of Elections about where she lives. She has told the board she is renting a house in the Chattering Springs subdivision in South Fulton County, but the chair says several people have contacted the board with questions.
We have seen a lease for May 1st, 2025, and on that same date, she was also still the mayor of a city in Illinois. At the time that she gave us the lease with a resident in Fulton County on May 1st, 2025. At that same time, she was also living in and a mayor in Illinois, and also a supervisor of a township in Illinois.
Henyard lost her bid for re-election in a landslide last year following allegations of lavish spending. Dalton, Illinois officials tell Fox 5 Henyard was mayor until May 5th, which means she registered to vote here in Fulton County before her term was over.
How did we receive her registration?
She registered through the online voter registration system. She applied for her Georgia driver's license February 26, 2026, and she registered February 27, 2026.
The Elections Board was decisive in holding a residency hearing for Henyard next week.
We'll have a challenge hearing April 9th.
Now, if Henyard gets past this residency challenge, she plans to run as a Republican. I reached out to the Fulton County Republican Party today to get a comment, but they declined to do so. That is the very latest in Fairburn. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Be an interesting one to.
And wowzers, here we go again. Interesting. Interesting. So the many things, you're muted, by the way. The many things I want to say, or the many places that I want to go with this right now. The first thing is, Fulton County has a hearing, a proactive hearing about this, but in Cook County, you got to challenge it to even get a hearing scheduled. I think that's pretty interesting. That's a very interesting sight to see. The government actually checking the candidacy before there is a written challenge, if I've gotten that right. But I guess I want to ask you this question. You know, Tiffany Henyard gave me the gift of you and Trina. That's how we met. And so in that fight and looking at this as one of the frontline fighters, did you get what you was looking for? Did we get what we was expecting to get? He's running for office again.
Are you asking, did we get what we're looking for as far as her running for office again, or
Would
what
you
was
say
that? What was the question?
what in that fight for was accomplished?
In some ways, you know, in one aspect, yes, in another aspect, not really. But I'm satisfied with the Dalton situation. Every administration is going to have their challenges, even if they don't inherit some of the things that Dalton did. You know, it has been a year in. You know, I'm not as connected there as I was during the fight. You know, and one reason why I was even there is because she held both seats, but I was never a Dalton resident, never said I was a Dalton resident ever. Matter of fact, I shied away from the cameras. You know, I had been asked by news stations to make comments at Dalton meetings, and I never would, because I didn't feel like that was my light well, my area. Now, mind you, I did make public comments, but sometimes when you only get 3 minutes in one area, you pick up them other 3 minutes like at another meeting, you know, so you're addressing the same person. So that was kind of my angle or my thought process, you know, even at the Dalton meetings. Plus, I had got to meet some of the residents, some of the administration, and, you know, they embraced me, you know. So I continue to show up, but I'm, you know, for me personally, I am satisfied with the administration in Dalton, but it's really not for me to be satisfied with, because again, I don't live there. You know, so that's kind of a difficult question for me to answer as far as my satisfaction there. But I say what I just said, and you know, that's my best answer at that. I hope that the residents are satisfied. That's really the question. And you know, for me, part of my fight in Dalton was for them, you know, kind of joining forces with them. Because also, you know, even though I didn't live in Dalton, I frequent Dalton. I go to the beauty supply stores. I go to the grocery stores, pharmacies. So it's never just a siloed approach to me, because so many of these communities are interconnected because they're so small. So, you know, that's my answer on that. As far as the township, I'm not satisfied with what we got. I am very unsatisfied with what we have there. You know, oh, Trina's on. You know, so that's
Load it up.
yeah. So look, I'm gonna make this short, but yeah, no, I'm not satisfied in Thornton Township. You know, so you know, that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm a digress, because other people have joined, and I'm just gonna let you do what you do.
Oh, you got it. Hey, we co-host now. I love this, and I ain't got to do all the talking. And finally, I ain't just talking to the screen, wishing that there was a comment. And so, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, you know it because Alicia let the cat out of the bag. She was the one that was missing, but she didn't get here before Keith Price didn't got here. That is absolutely crazy. The third co-host of the R&R Riveting Rivals, Trina. Welcome to the platform. What up?
I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Well, you know, Miss Alicia, she's not a Dalton resident, so she don't know the history of Dalton, and that they all basically not shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like what I'm seeing at all. And do you got the thing so I can present my screen? Because I'm finna put belt to ass out here on these streets of Dalton.
Okay, but hold on before you start trying to share something on the screen. Where your face at? We want to see you. You know you ain't scared of no camera when you was, you know, having my little. And where is my mannequin at? My little statue.
That's that motherfucker on my table. I think I can sell that for big money now, shit.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Jay, can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
So Trina, and my bad for letting the cat out the bag. I didn't know that they couldn't see that she wasn't on. I'm new to this. I mean, that she was on. Trina, when you say you don't like what you're seeing, and hi, good evening, by the way. Do you say in regards to Dalton or what? Or were you speaking
Man,
on something else? Or me or what?
Alicia, no, you're not a factor in this. I'm talking about in regards to Dalton and Thornton. I know that these women have traumatized you, but it's way bigger shit going on for me to be catty like that. And you looking like you don't understand what I'm talking about. But I was there for the Babe Solo shit. I was there for, the Vivian shit and all going to the mic asking for administration to intervene like they ain't fucked up. Okay?
Okay,
So
well, you're going to have to refresh my memory. But first of all, I just said that I don't have anything to do with Dalton, and I said why I was there when I was there. So let me say that now. As far as Thornton Township, I do have something to do with that, and that was what led to the problem between me and you because you didn't know what you were talking about. I've always lived in Thornton Township. I don't have time to just come out here and be out here and I wasn't trying to grow a channel. I wasn't trying to do any of that. So like why would I be there if I didn't have a vested interest? Which I explained why I
Well,
was there in
there's
Dalton. But
background,
I'm
and when I
sorry.
look at
Well, hold
Facebook,
on, hold on. Let me put this in context so that we can do this. Obviously, that's what I love
Okay.
about this because we all don't have the same perspective. We all will not agree. I'm sure we're gonna talk shit, but we gotta go here. We're gonna educate and inspire, and we're gonna even entertain the people. We got 171 people that are literally watching us right now. So y'all, hold on a minute, and that's what I love about this because you're right. We didn't have like a pre-meeting. We just jumped straight in head first.
Mhm.
Ain't even
Mhm.
dealt with all of our feelings towards each other. That's what I'm excited about. But
Exactly.
I just showed the video, Trina, of former Mayor Tiffany Henyard being challenged by the Fulton County Board for residency in Georgia, Fulton County, Georgia. And how I was asking how Alicia felt, and now I guess I'm asking you before we get to any other thing. How do you feel about her being challenged in residency and running in Fulton County out of everything that happened in Dalton?
I feel like that's just regular things that they do in elections across America. If she was running again in Dalton, they'll be challenging her residency here. So what's the difference?
Would you support a Tiffany Henyard for commissioner in Fulton County if you had a decision?
It depends on who the other candidates are.
Interesting. What about you, Alicia?
No, I would not. Not at all. Absolutely not. Not based on what I've seen and now know. There's no way in hell I would support her candidacy on anything in the political arena. Not
Okay.
at this time, I'll say that. Not at this time. I haven't seen her even take accountability for some of the things she's done. And I mean, that's step number one. Let alone just the interpersonal dynamics. I just don't think she's seasoned for politics. And that's my opinion.
So y'all, I hope y'all know that at this point we are now co-hosts. We're doing this together, so we gonna do it. We are co-hosts. So Trina, we can't see you. We can't see your
If
face.
if we co-host, right? If we're gonna be co-hosts, then allow me to host. Because if I do anything, I'm dropping receipts and I'm dropping paperwork. I don't just come and get to talking and all that other stuff. So if you want to claim me as a host, honey, you got to get it all. You just can't
But
get
we
bits and
trying to
pieces.
warm up a little bit. You can't go right into the love making. You got to warm up some. You know, a little mwah, mwah, mwah. Can we get there? Can we? First of all,
No, I'm coming in like a stray whore. I'm coming in like a stray whore. Fuck
But you
all
know
that
what?
other
Hey,
shit.
and that's respectable. But Trina, you need to respect how other people come. Everybody don't have to come
yeah,
like that.
I'm not a
Everybody's
whore.
supposed
I
how they
want to be
come,
cool.
and
I
that's the
want to.
that's the
Every
definition of co-host. It's not just one person's way. You can do that. You can come with receipts and whatever you come with, and then I can come with however I
hold on,
come. So
hold
that's what I'm
on.
saying.
I just got here. First of
Right.
all, I just got here. So allow me to do whatever I'm
I
gonna do.
know
I
you
just came
late. How you late
Go
and
ahead.
you
Like
gonna
I'm
agree
like
with me?
nobody's
Oh,
stopping you at
come
all. I'm telling you, go right ahead. All I'm saying is don't expect other people to come with the same approach you are.
on.
That's all I'm saying. But you have
But
here's
your
the
hold on,
own.
thing.
hold on,
Uh-huh.
though, hold on,
Here's
because
the thing.
Hold on though, because I wanted to talk about a few things and just have varying perspectives. But obviously, it's something that is burning that you have that you want to say. So Trina, I'm gonna give you a second. What is it that you want to? What heat you got? You want to share something? Go ahead.
Yes, I do. I want to know why Jason played in our face. I want to know why Kiana played in our face. I want to know why Jason House sitting up here with $130,000 federal tax lien because the nigga ain't paid federal taxes from 2015 to 2023. And I do got the case number. And then he got the unmitigated gall to ask the federal government to give him an extension until 2034 to pay his shit. But he out here playing games with our property tax and what we need to pay while he living his ass in a glorified apartment that he call a condominium and his real crib in Monique. See, I ain't finna have it. And what about Mr. Rucker with his $330,000 federal tax lien, which include Kiana motherfucking residents on there? How do they plan on getting this money and making this revenue? See, Jason ain't even have a goddamn job when he ran for mayor. So how in the hell is you finna sit up here and get this 130,000 that you need just for taxes that you owe the federal government? You surely ain't finna get that shit off the water bill. And for the record, I still got a credit on my water bill. Now, how many people in the village of Dalton got estimated bills where it's 0 and 0? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. What they charging you for? See, the last time when I had them in federal court, they was talking about they getting a new computer system and mistakes. This time I got y'all ass on racketeering. Now what you want to say, Alicia? Cause do you want Jason's the paperwork? Cause I got it. That's what I'm gonna present to the screen. I want to know why they
Hold
playing
on.
in people's
Let me answer
face.
that. Let me answer that. Okay,
Oh,
can I answer? Were you going to talk? I don't want to overtalk you, Jazz. So she asked me a question directly. She asked me what I have to say about that. That was your question, right, Trina?
A
Hello?
long time ago, you see, I'm quiet and
Okay.
waiting.
I don't have anything to say about that because, like I said, it's not my issue. I don't live in Dalton. So I'm going to take a back seat to those conversations other than what I've already said, which I'm not sure if you were here for the full part of that, but that is not my fight. When I show up, even at the tea with the trustees, it's because they have great information that benefits not just a Dalton resident, but any resident, period, whether even if you're not a homeowner. So that's my interest there. I'm not going to dispute, deny, argue, or whatever with what you say because you have more of a vested interest, and all I can do is listen. So that's what I'm doing, and that's my response.
so I think that everything will be on the table, right? And we can discuss those things. We can everything will be on the table. But this is what I do want. I think that for the first broadcast, and Trina, if you can give us a second, we can come back to that. I would love for us to make an introduction. And I think that there is this feeling, Trina, that you have about outsiders. So so what I would have said if everybody was in here on time is I would say this show is going to be representative of Dalton because we got two people who live in Dalton, and it's going to be representative Harvey because we got three people who live in Harvey in this four-person co-panel. And you know why? It's because I live in all y'all neighborhood. I don't care what y'all say. But Trina, are you of the opinion that people who don't live in Dalton shouldn't be dealing with or in Dalton business at all?
No, I'm in the opinion, or if you're not properly educated, if you haven't done the proper research on who's running things and what has gone on, that you need to be quiet and pay attention. What was the point in paying Lori Light for $30,000 every time she came to tell us stuff we already know? What do the trustees bring to the table? Last time I checked, they walked out and went to the bar when that lawsuit was on the table. And they knew when they walked out that Dalton only had $10 million in insurance. So you knew the insurance wasn't going to cover the lawsuit anyway. So why would you walk out instead of negotiating what you had? This is my money. These my tax dollars. My house paid for. So anything I pay is fully going to taxes. That's why I raise hell, because I'm not benefiting from my 6,500 that I put in on an annual basis.
Okay. So, but okay. So, what about you, Nicole, Alicia? Do you feel that people who are outside of Harvey should they not be involved in what's going on in Harvey?
You know how I feel about that? I feel like anyone that has a genuine interest to help is welcomed. But I feel like if you're coming to grow a YouTube channel, to wreak havoc, to come with complaints and no action and finger pointing, I feel that that does more harm. And I feel like some of the people that have shown up in Harvey have done just that. And maybe that was the case also in Dalton, but I don't see many of those people anymore. Some of the YouTubers or whatever that were there for the Dalton fight. But just a direct answer. If you just, for example, like how I showed up in Dalton, I wasn't trying to get anything. I wasn't trying to grow a YouTube channel. I wasn't trying to get a position with the administration. I wasn't trying to do anything but join forces with the people that wanted a positive change. And that was, that was my angle. But even then, I knew my place. Yes, I spoke at public comment, but that is kind of as far as it went. You didn't see me on Chaos for whatever that was. And there were people on there that weren't even living in Dalton at the time. So that's where that question should be directed to the people that were claiming Dalton and actually didn't live there and wanted all the attention as if they lived there. I was the exact opposite of that. And that's what I'm saying, because I was that.
You must be talking to somebody else, because I addressed Vivian at the time and told everybody she lived in Midlothian. And
I remember that. And you were right, because I had picked her up that day from Midlothian. I couldn't argue with that. You didn't hear me saying anything on that. That was y'all's discussion, and you were right. But at that time, yeah, I had picked her up that day. So I'm just not going to get in that. But I knew that you were right. I knew that you were right. But that wasn't
first of all,
right.
I want to thank Lainey for the protection in this live stream. We got $10 worth of protection. I don't know which one y'all want to use that, but that's $10.
Oh, well, thank you, Lainey. Thank you.
I don't even know what to do with that.
For that. But yeah, so I mean, that's my answer. If your intention is genuine and there's no ill intention or underlying motive, then I think it's okay for people to show up, because there's strength in numbers. And sometimes even within the city itself, you have people that should come out because they are residents, but they don't. So, you're kind of almost like a surrogate for those people if your intentions are good, and genuine, and you're not on some other, stuff.
I don't know what a surrogate looks like.
What?
A grown person. I know that we are all grown individuals, and that whoever is sitting in an elected seat, that they hold the full accountability and brunt for whatever's going on. Plain and simple. It's not about who we like. It's about you sitting in that seat and doing what's necessary. I'm not paying these trustees of Dalton to tell me what's going on at the park district or the library. I'm paying your black ass to bring revenue to Dalton. I'm paying you to get these abandoned properties out of Dalton. And they sitting in here and they still playing politics. They playing like they elected officials that can get things done, and they not nothing but a bunch of niggas posing. And I'm sick of it.
So what I do want to say is that, yeah, we will talk about these things, but in this broadcast, we want to talk about a plethora of issues, and we're not going to necessarily focus on one municipality. I do want to touch on some of this stuff. I'm talking about Tiffany because obviously she's in news for running. That's how we all met. But we gonna get there, Trina. We gonna get there.
You talk about one, you're talking about them all. They all are on this shit together. You got Harvey, Dixmoor, Riverdale, Dalton, Calumet City. These are all nigger ran suburbs by niggas who have been sitting in politics and have been groomed by other politicians, and all they know how to do is sit in agreement and nothing else. They know nothing about legislation. They know nothing about bringing revenue unless it's for one of their motherfucking comrades or cronies. They know nothing. South Holland doing beautiful. They just put a new city bank in South Holland. They sell no liquor in South Holland.
Okay, so let me ask you the question that I started this with, because the conversation is to be asking: is the house on fire? Is the house on fire? Trina, you was one of the frontline people. We didn't always agree. Do you feel that what you were fighting for during the Henyard administration was accomplished?
What I was fighting for is totally separate from everybody else. Everybody was fighting for Team House. I was fighting to get all the motherfuckers out of there. You understand? And I stand on that. Everybody must go. That's the only way that this suburb is going to survive without being gentrified and taken over by white people. You got to realize that zoning is real. You got zoning for residential, zoning for business, zoning for industrial. They are all out of zoning for residential. They trying to take industrial areas like they doing in Dalton and make more residential areas. Okay? So at the end of the day, the white people want the houses back. They don't want to live in no glorified apartment called a condo and paying $400,000 for a 3-bedroom and ain't even got a backyard. If y'all think I'm playing, watch y'all taxes increase and you not be able to afford your taxes and mortgage. My crib paid for. All I gotta do is pay the taxes. Okay? They can raise that shit to $24,000 a year. All I gotta do is put aside $2,000 per month. You see what I mean? Now you add that shit to. I'm not saying it's gonna be that high, because taxes get that high, I ain't paying shit.
Okay, so I guess here's another question. It's not an interview because of the co-host, but I do want to ask you, Trina, if you had to make a decision, would you let Alicia Nicole be your neighbor or a white person?
I would let the white person be my neighbor because they finna pay that debt. And I know how niggas is, and I watch them operating.
Okay, Trina, same question. Would you let me be your neighbor or you want the white person?
Shit, you better come with. You can come with that money, Jen. You better come with that bread. Because
Alicia, same question. White person or Trina? Who gonna be your neighbor?
You know what? Honestly, I don't base it on. Like even putting white person in there, it's just throwing me off. I'm gonna be honest, because to be honest, as long as you come, you a good neighbor. You got good intentions. You ain't trying to steal from me. I'm good. You know, you doing what you got to do. So
you've been to church on Sunday. You know you going with them white people.
No, not necessarily. Honestly, not for real, because I watch Fear Thy Neighbor.
If Trina
like, I
next to
don't care.
me,
Just be a good neighbor is
if
what I
Trina
ask.
lives next to me, I'm putting cameras on that whole side of my house. I'm getting restraining orders, and I am going to get. I'm getting. It's going to be a bunker style shutter on my window. I don't want to see it.
Can I ask Trina a question, please? I don't want to interrupt, but can I ask her a question about one of her statements?
How you gonna ask Jed if you could ask me a question?
Because we ain't got no contract yet, Trina. Damn. What's the question, Alicia?
No, I just because when she was saying what her position was, she said she wanted to clean everybody out, and bring everybody new in. My question with that, and this applies to other municipalities as well, do you realistically think that would work right away? Like a whole new administration that didn't know each other, didn't know the former administration, didn't know the administration before that, as far as what some of the issues are?
What does them knowing each other and other administrations have to do with with running the municipality.
It
That's
has a lot to do with it. You have to know.
you asked me the question.
Okay, but
Allow
then
me
you
to
asked me one back. You said, "What does?" But go ahead.
You asked me the question. And so when you ask me a question, if you're going to answer the question you ask me, then go ahead and answer it.
Okay, but hold on, y'all. We gotta get to.
But
We gotta
in
be.
your question, in your response, you asked. You said you started it with the question. You said, "What does such and such?" So that's a question. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
That was rhetorical. That was a rhetorical question that you weren't
Then
supposed
that
to.
answers my question. That's what I mean by getting to know each other. I didn't know that about
Let's
you.
pause for a
You
second.
have to get to know
Let's
people
pause for a
before
second.
you
I
can
think,
move forward on
hold on.
things.
Let me say this, y'all. I want to
That's
say
what
this
it
again.
has to do
We're
with it.
trying to put a different tone towards us all. We all don't agree with each other. We got that part. We got to get through this though. We got almost 200 people chilling with us right now. Thousands will watch. I'm asking for you all to please, whatever. And I don't even know if I have to take a pause to say, what is the beef? What is going on between, what's the energy? Because we want to talk about issues from our perspective. We want to talk about this from our perspective. And I think that some of these things it'll be discussed and we'll get to that. But we want to basically interact with the audience more so than with each other. That's what the goal is going to be. Keep prices late. The two female co-hosts is we trying to figure out our rhythm, and I'm just literally trying to figure out what the hell to do too. So this is the first broadcast. We okay. The question is, what again, Alicia?
Like as I previously stated, okay, I know what the question is. And that is the problem. The problem is that they are too personally intertwined with each other. The way they were brought into the political arena is all about you come in, you agree with me, I'm going to support you, you'll win office, and that's how it rolls. They are all in Dalton of Riley Rogers. You see what I mean? I don't like the way Napoleon made his way into the Senate. The way he did things was wrong and malicious. His name is on food boxes just like Tiffany's name was on food boxes. He having bingo like she having bingo. And then he got his seat in a whole nother zip code, but yet we in the same room. So this is why I'm saying everybody must go. But unlike Alicia, I am not a Democrat. So let's get that perfectly clear. And I
How do
have
you
a
know what
different
I am, Trina? Did I ever tell you what I am?
because of who you support.
Okay.
I haven't seen you at any Republican meetings in Thornton Township, or I haven't seen you support any of those Republican candidates.
Trina, you a Republican?
Absolutely. Weren't Republicans responsible for Reconstruction? Weren't Republicans responsible for the first black people stepping into any office in the United States? Absolutely.
Did you vote for Trump, Trina?
Absolutely. And he fucked up.
This is interesting. That's so interesting. I did not see that coming. Wonderful. So we got Democrats, Republicans, and Independents because y'all both wrong. What you is? If you want to tell us, Alicia?
I am Democratic, but I never told her that. I just wondered how she knew, but she was correct. So I just wondered how she. But I guess she assumed it, and she assumed correctly. I just wanted to make sure she didn't say like I told her that or anything. But she's right. But and I hear what I do hear what you're saying, Trina, as far as the like when you kind of have that inside connection. However, even in my question, it was kind of answered even in this broadcast. Jed just said it like this is our first broadcast. We don't know what direction we're going in. We didn't have the topics written down. We're kind of winging it right now, but as we keep going, it's going to be more structured. So that's just kind of the correlation I was making as far as sometimes with the new administration, it may take a minute, even with them knowing each other, they're in different roles and there's different responsibilities and there's different dynamics between them being in those different roles. And there's probably disagreements, I don't think everything is seamless just because they have a pre-existing relationship. I still feel that, gonna there is gonna be some discontent if your goal is always for the betterment of the people. Now, if it's for your self-serving agenda, or if you're on board with going along with something because ultimately it's going to be self-serving, then yes, you will, maybe sugarcoat or rubber stamp. But if your intention is truly for the people, there is going to be some disagreements because people come from different perspectives from different reasons. So some things that are more important to others aren't as important. So, that's where that, continuity, I guess, has to come, and you grow through those kinds of things. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, I didn't mean to be too long-winded on that.
There's another part to that because
Mhm.
when you're in government, you're not winging it. There's plans, and so when you put a new administration in, and they don't know the lay of the land, who the players are, what the plan is, and they come in and just try to change things, there's legality to that. There is systems that are already in effect. So you don't always want government to be completely freshman. You need somebody who knows how to write legislation and get it passed and build consensus. And you gotta, there's a lot of things to why relationships are important in government because
We have the administration in Dalton that's been a long-sitting administration. For Christ's sake, Ed Steve said 2 terms left and came back for another term. Same thing with Stan Brown. Andrew Holmes been there 2 years.
no background is not a real.
That's not my background. No, it ain't. I did.
Do it again. See, now it's not there.
Yeah, and it's not
It's
there
only when
again.
you're on mute.
And I think you sitting in front of a fan, Alicia, because yours doing the
Actually,
same.
I'm not, but no, I'm not. I'm not sitting in front of a fan. I just have my other computer sitting underneath this one, but
Is it on?
yes, it is. Hold on 1 second. Let me handle that.
It is. It's the fan.
Okay, hold on.
I know it ain't mine, buddy.
I don't know what this is, but I got a low tolerance today. I've been all in the fucking criminal courts today. My patience is low. I just read an 18-page legal document on live. I'm tired.
Understood. Well, Trina, if you are overwhelmed, I don't want you to be in a bad space. Maybe we come back another time. But I want you to. This is 4 perspectives dealing with issues that are affecting people, and we want to make it informative.
Problem is simple though. Everybody needs to go and get the fuck out and get gone. They've been self-serving and bullshitting for too long, and that's why the communities look the way they do. Don't look like shit. It's a whole power line on the ground coming into Dalton. Our streets look like shit. We haven't even had our water tested since 2024. We don't know what the hell we bathing in, what we brushing our teeth with. But these niggas got the unmitigated gall to talk about who water they gonna cut off. And no, motherfuckers ain't cutting off mine because I still got a credit. So that's a y'all fucking problem.
So what I want to do is I wanted to kind of sort of start this from the. When you go out and come back in, could you restart it, Price? Because I don't know. That feedback is horrible. Can't hear you. Can you come back? Can you restart it?
I'm finna restart it.
All of us on this live stream met each other, or most of us met each other in the thick of the fight in Dalton, and we did not have the same opinions at all. But we were all there, and people have come to know us. And so the goal.
Right? Y'all was there, but I live here. And I've been living here, and I was here before y'all came, and I watched how dirty these people live, and I'm still here while you traveling, and where Alicia live, wherever she live at, I'm still here dealing with the same people, the same lies, and the same bullshit, except the community looks even more terrible, and now we got a $40 million lawsuit that gets $5,000 interest every day we wake up.
So are you mad at us?
I'm mad at a lot of shit.
Don't be mad at us, Trina. We could just get along. We can talk through it.
I'm mad because here's the thing. If you down for holding people accountable, you down for holding people accountable. And that don't end with Tiffany Henyard. Okay? It's everybody that's held accountable. I don't give a damn who liked who smiled, who had pancakes. I don't give a shit about none of that. It's about people sitting in these offices making decisions for us, and it's not okay for them to fuck over our money and the community at the same damn time. They got public works people that don't even know how to put salt on the trucks and put the proper amount on the street and know how to set the spreader. They destroying
But Trina, what I'm trying to tell you, is all of us, this is not a Dalton program. This is 4 people from 4 places that's probably fucked up in his own way, all coming together to talk. Talk it out.
If you name a problem in Harvey, it's the same thing in Dalton. If you say something in Dalton, it's the same thing in Harvey. It's the same thing in Riverdale. It's the same thing in Calumet City, and it's the same thing in Dixmoor. Okay? Robbins is barely escaping with the skin on their teeth. I really gotta say, Shorty doing his thing. Did you see the new construction he did over there right off Kedzie? I mean, yeah, Kedzie, where he gonna fill that whole little area up. He done dug out a canal and gonna fill it up with fish so people can go over there and fish.
So it sounds like you're saying, that things is not gotten any better at all. It's gotten worse across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same program. They all Democrats. This is the program. They all Democrats. Every election is going to be a Democrat that wins. It has been for decades. They talk shit about each other. One of the 2 Democrats wins, and nothing gets better in the community. Nothing.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing, and this is what I would say because I don't get it. Because you seem to not be happy with the people who came to back you up. You're saying we need to shut up and listen and learn, but you're not even happy. We came to your city to help.
You came to get Tiffany Henyard. Because if you came to help, you will still be helping. You will be holding these people that are sitting accountable. You want to just one side.
No. With what paycheck? And for what reason? Why would I commit my whole life to fighting when I fought like hell and you all did? Oh, hell no. Somebody, can we get, is you crazy?
Like, are you cool? Yeah, I'm cool. That's what I was trying to ask. Look, man, I'm very cognizant of what's going on. I have been for a long time. A very long time. I ain't missed shit.
It's bad.
No, I'm back. I don't hear no noise anymore at all.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
That's Jed.
It's not me. It's you.
No.
I think Wait, is that me?
Every time you talk, I hear it, Alicia.
Okay, still didn't hear me more. Let me go out and come back in.
Is this the same way last time?
Okay, wait. Can you hear now? Because I didn't do anything. I didn't even go out.
When you milk keep, everything is
Okay, then it ain't me. I was about to. Oh, okay.
No, it ain't.
great.
When I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing right now.
Who's in the back? Real quick.
Okay, see, now I don't hear it. And Jess, say something.
I can hear. Yeah, we fine.
Trina,
Right?
Trina, say something, please.
Something, please.
See, it's fine for all of us. I heard everyone clearly.
It's Keith's connection. So I don't know if you are in the same way you were doing it before or the same device, but however you're on here, it is actually causing interference.
It's disturbing, and I'm starting to think you're doing it on purpose because you don't want me to talk and say nothing about a politician you rock with.
Who? Me?
Keith.
Oh, Keith. You know what? Let me ask y'all that.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. I don't care who you say something about, Trina. You talk about everybody anyway. It don't matter. What do you mean? Which politician we talking about? Trina, I don't hear the buzzing anymore. Where are you?
Right. Sound better. After I know almost a year and a half, I don't do it. Is it better?
Where is everybody? Alicia, why are your lips moving? I can't hear you.
Because I was saying something. I'm still saying something. I hear a lot of static.
Man, I'm telling you, that's from y'all. That ain't from me.
See, it's gone. The moment I mute Q Price, it's gone. It is totally Keith Price's device. I have no other way to put that.
You know, I'm gonna go out just in case.
No, it's not you. We're talking. You're fine. I hear you. I see you.
But
I don't know.
Trying.
4 people, ladies and gentlemen. This is the start that I've been trying to get done for the whole time that I've been on here. 4 individuals, all on different sides of opinion, on one screen. That is amazing. We started in the fight for dollars. I wanted to kind of start off lighthearted because we did not have any preconditioned conversation. Strong individuals. So I think that I would want to start here because I do want to know, since it's the elephant in the room, can Alicia and Trina be on the same show? Can it happen?
Of course, yeah. For me, I mean, it's happening. You know what I thought, to be honest, I thought that was going to be one of the first things that we talked about because it is an elephant in the room, and we've never discussed. Even Keith and I got to kind of talk through our issue, so I was willing to do that, and but it's not my show, so I was also.
I don't know what is wrong with y'all. Girl, we just be on the show. We don't gotta talk through none of that. Y'all be too. I don't know.
Actually, I think we do, Trina.
Oh, hell no. You not going to come in hot like that. And you know all these people on here, they want to know. We all want to know, damn it. If I was just watching, I want to know. And I want to know.
I want to know who she said she was going to talk about. That's what I want to know.
I want to know, and I think that it has to. So we don't have to kumbaya, but it's information. Why? What is the central issue, and is it resolvable?
What central issue? With what?
Okay, never mind. There isn't one. You heard that? So there's no issue. Moving forward.
Well, you know what? No, it has to be addressed because Trina she drugged me during public comment. I thought you were going to show the video. I was cool with you doing that so we
I
could go from
did.
there. Now, mind you, we can go with how that whole thing started, and that's what I thought we were going to do so that we could get past it because you were.
Publicly, I'ma drag your ass again publicly.
We are
You know what?
literally.
That
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
Whatever you got to do, Trina, do what you got to do. It's certain
But for
levels I'm not going to
what?
go to, and I
Why do
choose
we
that
have
for
this
me. So
energy?
you do what you got to do.
Wanna
And
sit
then whatever comes from that comes from that. And I was
in
prepared for all of it, but I'm
on
not gonna say what I'm gonna do or not do. You do what you do, and then my response will be what it is.
She wants beef. I don't got no beef for you because you don't know what you talking about.
Okay.
All I
Okay.
is when I was giving public comment, you had a whole lot of shit to say while I'm giving public comment. First of all, I can only talk 3 minutes, so really you should have shut the fuck up and not even been fucking with me.
She
And
mad.
seeing that I was coming in from court, we're having to deal with Miss Moody bitch ass trying to violate my motherfucking rights. I felt you was dead ass wrong to sit up there as a grown woman and heckle me while I'm talking.
Trina.
So you got your ass.
Let me respond.
That
Let me
it
let her
would
finish
be,
that because I got to
but I
respond.
think
She's
it would
so
be
loud and
less.
wrong.
I
It's
think I would be
ridiculous.
less
But
of
sometimes it's
a.
impossible
I would be.
to
I'm
reason
like,
with that.
when I sat up there and I saw you say fuck her. You said fuck her.
After you said what you said, I damn sure did. What do you think? And matter of fact, I don't even know if I said it, but if I did, I'm standing on it. I'm standing on it because look what you were saying.
Jed, I thought we was having a nice show with
Okay.
talking about political issues
But
and
Trina can't talk for
what's
herself.
going on.
Before we
Trina always want to fight somebody.
I wanted to talk about it.
His
So,
ass.
but let me just say this. I wasn't doing anything but recording. I'll tell you what happened. She just said what she said. But what happened was she went up there to speak. She said something about Carmen Carlisle not being there. And all I said was, doesn't she have a restraining order against Keith? And then Trina jumped in and talked about how I didn't live in the township. Then she started talking about my lashes, wigs, and it went from there. And when she said that, I'm like, well, didn't you have a gun outside? Or whatever. So I said that, and she just went off.
This is what I think is funny. This is
else.
what I think is funny. Now I'm gonna mute everybody because this is what I think is funny. We always want to talk about not gentrifying our neighborhood, but look at how we treat each other. Look at how we look at each other. Look how we can't get past nothing with each other. Let me tell you my honest opinion. I hope they gentrify the entire fucking Southland and move all of the ignorant shit out of the Southland. That's why we keep fighting. Because the people who have the space won't move nowhere. Now, I wanted to give that as an independent opinion. We keep fighting for black people to have stuff so we can keep fighting black people. I would be less of a man to sit here when everybody agreed to come on here and have a conversation. We don't have to agree, but we sure as hell aren't fighting on the front line anymore. Why do we need to be like this towards each other? It makes no sense. And I love your strength, Trina, but right now, I actually love Alicia's fortitude better. Because why are we doing this to each other right now? There are almost 200 people on here who they want to hear our voice, not our anger. We're better than this.
She the one to talk about that dumbass, low vibrational shit. She the one that want to talk about that dumbass, nigga ass, low vibrational shit.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it yet. She did it, and I just thought we could address it in a more appropriate manner because I never responded to it. But we don't have to talk about it at all. She's correct. I'm fine with it. But when you said elephant in the room, it kind of took me there. but I'm okay with not even discussing it because I've been past it. It was never an issue. Once I left that broadcast or that meeting, it was behind me. For me it was.
Meeting years ago. And if you just now tonight, one after as many times as you seen me, as present as I am in social media, you done came on my YouTube and made comments. You ain't say, hey, Trina, let's talk about what happened. So don't come do this shit for the
That's my point. It
motherfucker.
didn't matter. But if we're co-hosts on this show, now it matters. It never mattered until then for me, and it still doesn't. If it doesn't for you, but I just said that because I thought that would be the right thing to do if we're going to be on a regular show. But I digress.
Co-host on shit. Okay. I have no obligations whatsoever.
Well, then, with that being said, Trina, I hear you. You know, I'm very hopeful, but I have to respect your wish, and I appreciate you for coming on with us. All right?
Yep.
Have a good one. I'm going to say that more than anything, Alicia Nicole, I applaud you. I truly, personally applaud you. I think that that took a great deal of a lot of something that I don't even know. I don't even know if I have it. But as much as I actually believe in Trina and like her, that kind of took me back. And I will not force something. If the chemistry isn't there, I'm not going to force it. But wow. Okay.
Y'all through with mindless television or what, man? Y'all making our ratings go. I got no fan. Ain't got no fan by me, bro.
It's like an echo too, Jed. Like both of us are echoing off.
Back when you're done, because that is terrible.
And now it's
so let's start this from the top. Now there are 3 individuals who were all not on the same opinion. Price, I asked a moment ago, Tiffany Henyard is being challenged for residency in Fulton County. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna move past that. I'm not being messy, but I want to get it out on the first show. Is Keith Price and Alicia Nicole functional?
I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna answer because Keith is gonna be a lot of static. I feel like we are. Like, I'm able to, and I said it the first time you had Keith and I on the show. That stuff is behind me. I know how to let bygones be bygones as long as we agree to just be respectful and cordial. And it's been that every time I've seen Keith, and I've seen him, in different scenarios. You've been with us one time when it was us, kind of downtown Chicago. I've seen him several different times, and that's one thing that people do not understand when you're in this fight, and because you live in the community, you see these same people. I mean, if you were in the fight and you continue to want the best, for your city, you're gonna see the same people. So it's difficult, at least for me, to hold unnecessary grudges. Now, if they're necessary, I'm gonna hold them and I'm gonna just stay away from you. But if there's nothing other than like politics, but other than that, we can coexist. I'm okay with doing that, and I think that that's what Keith and I have been doing. So we're able to respect each other, be cordial, and it hasn't gone left yet for me. We kind of, joke a little bit when we see each other, all in fun. Some of it is reminiscent on, the things, like one thing that's always going to be a point of contention, but it's hilarious when we think about it, is my press pass I had that time. And Keith was so mad at my press pass because it said Dalton politics. But anyway, and I use that and we laugh about that to this day, but I'm telling you, at the time, it was funny to me kind of, but it wasn't to him because he was trying to like keep me out of going upstairs to this meeting. So I mean, these are things we laugh at later because you move on to bigger things, different, fights, if you will, for good government. So that's where we are.
Okay, so let me be a little petty then, for good television's sake. You know, one of the things that Price was often ridiculed about is sitting on the sidelines while Tiffany did whatever she wanted to do. Now, Price does a lot of advocating against the current board of trustees, who he says sit around and do nothing while Napoleon does what he wants to do. You know, how does that? How do you, Nicole? What you think of that?
You know, now that's a thought-provoking question. I'll say that. I can see where people say that, where he kind of sat around, because in some ways I see that too. I feel like he should have been more vocal on things when she was in charge. I do feel that way. But one thing I do respect about him, and what I've learned from what I do know about Keith has a lot of great skill sets. I'm just going to be honest, especially when it comes to government. He knows how to navigate things that the average person, including myself, don't know how to do. Keith, you know, took the lead on something that was so important at the time, you know, just making sure that, you know, government was operating the way it was supposed to, as far as, you know, allowing people on the ballot and stuff. And, you know, Keith went up against attorneys, and I was sitting there in the room while he was going up there against attorneys, and he stood his ground. And I looked at that, and I looked at it from as if I didn't know him from a previous administration, and I admired that and I respected that. And it was other things that I saw, and I start seeing those things about Keith, that's why Tiffany liked him, because he has those great things, great qualities. And I think his fault, and I'm gonna just be honest, and we're, you know, this is the forum. I think his fault was being loyal to a fault. I felt like maybe his loyalty should have stopped at a certain point, because I do think he's better than what it looked like at the time. And it didn't look good at the time to me. You know, but now that I see him in different lights and doing different things, I can respect more of his maybe skill set, of the, you know, for lack of a better word. But I think that his fault was being loyal to a fault.
Right. So you hear static now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we just
It sounded the exact same to me. Shagger, it went off totally now. That's because you muted everybody else. All right, see, so it ain't me. It's everybody on at the same time, I guess. No, but yeah, I don't have a problem with Alicia. Like I said, with me, it was just about everybody being so aggressive, attacking everybody. People claimed they wanted to hear the truth and they wanted to see the finances, and we were giving people that, and the news wasn't reporting on it. And you all heard Robert Hunt say that Shy Girl 2003, but definitely, yeah. You heard Robert Hunt talk about how we had such a surplus, and then I was shocked to hear that all of a sudden now, after a year of these other people being in, they talking about possible deficits. One of the things that I don't like is the fact that if you're gonna hold people accountable, you hold them all accountable. If you were gonna attack a Tiffany the way you attacked a Tiffany, then have y'all seen how many trips or conferences that they've been on in just 1 year at Thornton Township already? We don't see Ben Bradley reporting on it. We don't see them adding the money up. We don't see the people coming in there raising hell about improper bid processes and contracts being awarded, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of contracts. And that's the thing. It starts to seem like, to me, it was a targeted effort by the Democratic Party, some of the powerhouses that wanted the seat. That's just what it looks like. We still talking about a lady that got beat up on for 3.5 years or better that hasn't even been charged yet. But yet when people go to elect people, they've elect people that's been indicted. They've elect people that's currently under investigation. So it seems like it just was a little bit more in this with me than just Tiffany. It was some type of hostile takeover, I believe. We had people like, and I ain't gonna lie, I was depending on these people when they got elected to keep the current supervisor in check. And they've got on the board and went totally mute, like their tongues got cut out. We're seeing things going on that were just as bad, if not worse, right now. And the room is empty. It's not a show. So that was my thing. I could deal with anybody. I understand people having differences of opinions. I've been in the game long enough to understand that you still have to have business, handle business if you like someone or not. So that's just it. But Alicia, she cool with me.
Thank you. Jed, I think okay, can y'all hear me? Because Jed, when you control the mute thing, that's what brings the static. But if we just mute ourselves, it doesn't bring the status. But anyway, let me just say something to that as far as people not really, quote, going after Napoleon Harris like they are Tiffany. Tiffany's approach warranted what she got, Keith. Like the level of disrespect, even amongst her own colleagues, the ones that, quote, didn't agree with her. But to the residents, shutting people down, just the things that she did and the way that she did it. Like, you can call me anything. Like, well, no, let me see. I want to word this. Like, it is all about approach and the way you interact with people. I've approached certain people and I approached them, in a normal way. People thought I should have approached them. And mind you, it was like at a Walgreens, mind you. It was a politician, but it was at a Walgreens. So it wasn't like they were in their political capacity. So I didn't come with, my first approach was to introduce myself because I had never formally met that person. I knew who they were, so that was my approach. Well, after the fact, someone came to me like, how come you didn't ask about this? How come you didn't ask about that? I didn't think that was appropriate. I'm just meeting that person for the first time. I feel like even if I did have those issues, meet them, establish a rapport or get a common ground, a respect level, and then maybe you can have those conversations later. I didn't feel like it was appropriate to come blaring guns. But I say that to say, with Tiffany's demeanor and approach, she warranted that. Like she didn't even give you a chance to come to her respectfully and she sit down and talk to you and explain things and, instead of trying to shove her narrative down our throat. That was the problem with her. And even Napoleon, he's just evasive. He's coy. He's manipulative. He's all of those things, but it's not as outward as Tiffany's was. So it resonates completely different. I mean, it almost feels like you've been physically attacked by Tiffany. Like the level of her disrespect is just so deep. And then it just breeded what she got, but at least that's what Napoleon, I guess, has in his favor. Although he's arrogant to me and a few other things, he hasn't come as blatantly disrespectful as Tiffany has. That's in my opinion. Although I've seen some things that I do think are disrespectful, but it just hasn't been to the level that Tiffany did. So he's not getting it in the level that she did. Even if there's similar things that people are upset about.
Hey, Jed, Lady Brown asked a question. She said, so am I saying Tiffany was attacked because she was a woman? I don't think it really had to do with her being a woman. That may have played some part, but I think it was more or less she wouldn't bow down and do everything that they wanted her to do while she had those seats. There were politicians who I know for a fact wanted to put their people in high-paying positions in the township, and she wouldn't do it. I know for a fact there's one politician who got mad as hell at her because she even brought me in because I have held him accountable back in the days. So I think it was just a attack because she wouldn't bow down. And then another person asked a field for fitness, asked, didn't the board receive increase in salary? They definitely did. They getting double the amount they supposed to be getting. And that wasn't hidden in the Crohn's bill either. So that was always suspect to me as well. That's a Frenchie. I got Frenchies.
And so, one person win the other, yeah, we could just do that. That's how we're gonna do it for now until we figure that sound thing out. So I think that one of the things that I just want to know is like looking at the landscape of everything. We're here now. Time has gone past. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, is the Southland in trouble? Is the Southland in trouble? I think it's the kind of question I want to ask. Like, it seemed like nothing has changed. Like, nobody's happy. People are not inspired. And for me, actually, I frame it differently. Y'all saying have the same standard for Jedediah. For what? Why do I want to keep on fighting for what's going on in the Southland? Obviously, I do have interest there. I got family there. But if everybody's just going to do the same thing, why would I want to keep on fighting person after person? I guess it just getting right is not really a possibility. That's what it sounds like.
Well, I feel that. And I really wish Trina was still on here. But like Trina said, get rid of everybody. One of the last things you want to do in politics is get rid of everybody. Because if you end up with a whole bunch of people that don't understand Robert Rules of Order, municipal code and procedures, usually what happened in that case is the attorneys take extreme advantage and run up the bag on people like that. You always have to, everybody's not bad. All cops aren't bad. All white people ain't bad. All black people ain't bad. All Hispanics ain't bad. You can't just group anybody in as if everybody's bad. But if there's ones that they think are the bad seeds, then yeah, you get them out of there. But last thing you want is your whole city to be ran by people that's green, because it's a learning curve that you really don't have time for. So as far as the Southland, I don't know if it's getting, I don't know. I think it's just everything is a buck for power right now. Everybody's trying to be the man. And I don't think it's about the people. It's about what they can get, what they can control, who they could push their money to for contracts. And the main thing they doing, the main thing that's changing constantly year by year is the amount of taxes that the residents are paying out there. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, it all remains to be seen, but it's going to continue to be more and more vacant homes as long as everybody's pushing their tax levies up every year. Every taxing body is raising their tax levies, usually by 4.99%, because that's the max they can raise it without sending it to the people to vote for it on a ballot. But
okay. So what do you think is going to take to change, to pivot? What is it going to take in your mind?
Honestly, in my mind, the pivot is going to take the Attorney General to do his damn job and hold elected officials accountable. If they're holding incompatible offices, make the move. So we need the state's attorney. We need the state's attorney to do their job. We need the Attorney General to do his job. The overall thing is to hold people accountable. But when you have high-powered Democrats trying to hold high-powered Democrats accountable, that's the problem we're running into. How do you expect Kwame Raoul to, like we was talking the other day, you know, but I'm going to talk about Kwame Raoul real quick. How do you expect Kwame Raoul to attack a NAPO for not living somewhere when they're buddies? You know what I'm saying? His office not going to do it. Just like we talked about the gentleman who they waived $500,000 or $1 million worth of fines. That's because that's their buddy. So they'll look out for their buddies instead of, and this is one of my main fights since I've been in politics, just level the playing field. Hold everybody accountable to the same rules, policies, procedures, and they won't do it. So it's just gonna be interesting to see. And as long as we keep running around acting like we don't know the things that are going on in this one particular party, is so ungodly, and how they don't take care of the residents and the Americans, and we keep just giving them our votes and giving them our votes. I mean, I think it's just crazy, Jed.
So you are not a Democrat?
I've never ran as a Democrat. I never ran as a Republican. I always ran nonpartisan. I voted Democrat more than I voted Republican because the Democrats are the ones who run everything where I live. I mean, for me to pull a Republican ballot in Cook County, that's just a wasted vote. So I would rather vote for a brother like Wooly than vote for a Republican that I know not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you'll never find anything where I filed anything that said I was a Democrat.
So Alicia, you're a Democrat. Why are you a Democrat?
You know, that's a good question. And let me also preface everything by saying I'm newer. I'm a newer person on the political scene, and I'm still learning a lot. There's a lot I don't know, and there's a lot I can't speak on because of that, and I'm okay with that, which is why I listen and I learn. Even Keith, you know, I'm listening to what he's saying. He has way more knowledge, comprehensive knowledge about these things. That's why I'm glad he jumped in to answer that question first about what could be done. However, ironically, his answer was the exact same thing I was thinking, and that's even without me even knowing all the layers that I'm now learning as far as politics. But my answer to that very question was going to be the same thing, but I was going to say it like the oversight, the people that are providing oversight to these things, these injustices, need to do that, to give that oversight and hold people accountable. And like Keith said, you know, address issues, blatant issues such as residency, and not just let these things slide, because when that happens, ultimately they get what they want because nothing changes. These people kind of keep their voting base, if you will, and they retain office. And one other thing, and what I'm doing for myself, we need to educate ourselves on not just on voting day, who we want in there, but follow those people and see what they've done since you put them in office. See if they've held themselves accountable to the things they said they were going to do, that kind of thing. So we need to not just get involved, but stay involved and continue to hold these same people that we elected or voted for accountable. And if they aren't doing what they say they're going to do, we need to get them out of there. But I think that we lose sight of that sometimes, you know, during election time. We go with the most popular name, or the person that had the most ads or the most money. And even with that, we still don't follow them on the back end to see if they did what they said they were going to do. So I think it just involves, you know, not just oversight from the powers that be and the people that are paid and tasked with that responsibility, but we as the people need to exercise our ability to provide that same level of oversight. Again, not just by voting, but by showing up, by asking questions. And again, I keep going back to the strength in numbers things, even at the thing where, you know, Keith, you know, did his thing and went up against lawyers. It was only a few people that were there kind of in support of that whole premise, meaning someone being on the ballot that technically and rightfully and really kind of legally shouldn't. There was no, you know, it was a handful of people that showed up that were even interested to know, what happens with that, or even why it's even an issue. So we just need to be more educated. That is why I'm seeing now that DOTS position, or the committeeman position, can be so impactful, when it comes to everything that we're discussing right now, and getting people out to vote and keeping them engaged and keeping them informed. And that's the main thing. And whoever's in that seat has a lot of control over that, so.
Well, I'm going to change gears a little bit because we got 2 hours in and we're going to get this wrapped up. But I did actually have a whole run of show. Hopefully when we come back, we'll have a better go at this. I'm still happy that we were able to accomplish this and be on here. But I do want to ask y'all a quick question, because these people are on here are the ones who watch. They know, they were around. I'm going to ask you both. Alicia Nicole, you want to go first? Tell me, what is your favorite memory, your funniest memory, and your worst memory in that entire fight?
Oh my God, my favorite memory. Okay, so favorite, worst, and what was the other one?
Your favorite,
Mm-hmm.
your funniest, and your worst.
Okay, that's a real, okay, so my favorite moment would probably, you know what, I'll say for me, it was February 25th, the primary, because it just showed how impactful efforts can be when you align forces the right way. So that was my best moment, because it just gave hope of what can happen when people unify. So that for me, that was my best. My worst would probably be the Thornton Township brawl. Just because of just everything that happened that day. So that would probably be the worst.
Did you throw any? Did you throw?
You know what? I didn't throw any punches, but my camera was right there. But no, of course I didn't. Keith didn't throw any either, because he was on my camera as well. So I saw that, but it was just so, unexpected. Like,
You tell me after all that you didn't get a sneak lick in with Noah?
you know what? No, I didn't. I actually did not. Hey, that was y'all's fight. I was just there, but just for what it was worth, just in retrospect, and it could have been a lot worse. So I'm glad it wasn't any worse than it was. But I guess just the unexpected. I mean, I never expected that to happen at a meeting, even for the mayor to get involved, that actually might have even coupled as the funniest, actually, to be honest, because I've never seen anything like that. Probably won't ever see anything like that again. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that was funny. Let me digress on that. But it, just the camera footage of when she ran up there, that was, looking back at it, I didn't, it was kind of funny. And then, I guess that's it. So yeah, the worst, that would be the worst. And then I had the best, and then maybe the funniest for me, is just when I kind of, I guess, mocked Tiffany on the whole, let me educate y'all, and it took a life of its own, and and it just became kind of funny, and every time she says that, it just kind of resonates differently with me. It's just kind of funny to me. So those are my three, just off the top of my head, without any real thought.
What's yours, Bryce? Your favorite, your funniest, and your worst?
Honestly, my favorite moments were serving them people. Really, the quality of food that we were giving out, the quantity of food that we were giving out, and just having that opportunity to work and help people that needed food. Man, there's a lot of people still call me right now if their boxes don't get delivered. So really, that was my favorite moment, just to be there and help the people in that capacity. What you say, the saddest moment? That was my best. The worst moment? Funniest. I ain't got to funniest yet. So that was my favorite. What I told you about helping the people in the food boxes and the quality and quantity of food we were serving, giving them eggs and all the milk and the things that were high priced. the saddest moment or the worst moment to me was the night of the caucus. The night of the caucus to me was worse than the fight because everybody knew that it seemed the police and everybody was letting that whole process build up into where it was almost unavoidable. We knew a fight was going to happen. I thought a fight was going to happen a couple meetings before it happened. So the caucus to me was definitely the worst because at that moment, I saw Napoleon for somebody I never would have expected him to do or be. I saw him leave senior citizens locked out in the cold. I saw them really rig a whole caucus and have a plethora of people inside of a building that weren't Thornton Township residents and should not have been there. I saw him totally ignore the fact that there were other elected officials locked outside, along with the residents and other people who wanted to nominate themselves for trustee or for supervisor. I saw him use the committeeman seat, and that's why I fought so hard for him not to get reelected for committeeman, because we may not have an opportunity in Thornton Township to ever vote for a supervisor again, because we saw what he would do, we saw what he did, and we saw that his friends and the courts and the everybody let him get away with it. So that was definitely my worst moment. And one of the funniest moments, oh man, I mean, if I got to go on what I laughed at. I didn't laugh at a lot of that stuff. But what I did laugh at the most was when you told Vivian, say you never said you had it. Say you never said you had it. Say you never said you had it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I got all the videos. I know she said she had it. And then when the video dropped with Vivian, your wish has been granted. That to me was, oh man, that was it, bruh. That almost took me out, bro. I literally laughed out loud, tears coming out my eyes, because all along while it was going on, I'm like, please, girl. In my head, I'm really like, don't say you didn't say it. Please just don't say, just leave it alone, because I know already that we had all the videos every time she said it, and actually had them for a year. We had them for a year. And I wouldn't drop them. Jed, you could attest to this, bro. I wouldn't drop the videos because I was still trying to see, like, why is she tripping on me and we've never had a problem? You know what I'm saying? But when she said it on that camera, I said, oh, sometimes you keep stuff to your chest for the perfect time. It's no better time than now. And yeah, that was the funniest moment to me right there, brother.
Oh my. I'm sorry. That is, Keith, that is absolutely hilarious. That was epic. And then the way he was standing there, he's like, say you didn't say it. Say you didn't say it. The video is there. That's what he said. The video is there. Man, I cried when he said that. That was funny. I'm sorry. It was. Oh, and one other thing. You know, I wanted to mention, and this is so funny because you were one of the main ones saying I didn't live in the township, which I did. Not only did I live here, I was getting your food boxes. And I was like, every time you were speaking, I was just be thinking about them nice food boxes I done got. And your staff was on point. They were always so cool. Like the people when I rolled through, real nice gentlemen, you know, young black male. And I just, you know, it was a great experience. And I was getting them, and I just held that to my chest, like you're saying, knowing that you were wrong. You know, it was loud and wrong, But you know, I just want to say that and it really I haven't been with the new
Right.
administration, but I really did like and I can attest to what you said, the eggs. It was always a nice food box. But I did stop going because I didn't want y'all to recognize me after you knew who I was. But I was getting those boxes during that time. So that was just crack up
Crack
to
up to
myself.
myself.
I tell you this, even if you would have been coming to get them boxes, there's no way I would not have given you the box. No matter what. I don't operate like that. We didn't try. We kept that place going. We drove those numbers up high. We serviced the people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame that a person like me who has been a public servant who actually do serve the people didn't keep that opportunity to keep doing that. But I knew that was over when I drew the line in the sand after that caucus, and I chose to speak on that at the Tiffany rally. I knew all that was over with anyway.
So that's absolutely funny, but I did just notify our attorneys that now, because of you, I might be back in court. I'm gonna get another restraining order now. Thank you so much. We could have picked another funny moment. God damn. Another round of court.
You act that was the funniest moment, bruh. I mean, we didn't say nothing. We didn't do nothing. We didn't bash anybody. We good.
I don't give a fuck. It's funny to me. What I'm gonna say is, for me, I think that it's so many, and this might not be funny to y'all, but I just remember sitting with a group of women in Thornton Township meeting, and they just was talking big shit. They was talking big shit, and then one of them said, "Oh my God, he's recording us." And William Moore was just sitting over there with his phone. Look at William Moore was just sitting there with the phone. He had this blank stare on his face. And then I'm just sitting there saying, and nigga, what the fuck? Like, it was the creepiest, but it was the funniest shit I had ever seen. And the women was so scared and disoriented and discombobulated. Oh my God, he recording us. And every time I would come into the meeting, William wouldn't say nothing. He'd just be sitting there like this. And I don't know if anybody has foiled that footage, but I want that damn footage because I know it's some good moments on that. He got the best camera footage of the whole situation. I don't care what nobody say. Because it would be like a lot of stuff going on and William would just be sitting there.
Hey, I know a lot of people didn't like Mr. Moore. And him and I had got into it a couple times, but you know, that happens when you have difference of opinions. But like I said, I don't hold that against people. But man, he was really, really, really a cool old cat, man. That guy he was a cool cat and he was a worker. And I like loyal people, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ran into a few loyal people. Even if they not loyal to me, it just shows like that's part of their character. You know what I'm saying? So like to see people that's loyal like that, bro, it's it's cool to meet them type of people.
I think my favorite moment is when I got the call that they were trying to intimidate people speaking on the mic. I think it was in the basement of a library or something. And I went and stood right there by the speaker at the podium, and they shut the fuck up. And my worst moment, obviously, was spending the night in Dalton jail. Even though I got me some Glorias or whatever the hell that restaurant is, that would be my worst. These are the memories that we hold. It was supposed to be 4 people telling this on 2 different sides because obviously these moments intersected with each other. But y'all, this is our host panel for this broadcast. I don't know how often we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to have a conversation after this, try to figure out where it goes. And now we are in need of one more female co-host. We need another female co-host. And the goal of this is to talk about a plethora of issues that are affecting our lives and to send waves through the internet world so that people could be inspired, entertained, informed, connected, and hopefully we'll be able to make some of those differences that need to be made. I have lost a lot. I've not lost hope, but I have lost a lot of interest. I hope does that make sense? I have not lost hope, but I lost a lot of interest because I just feel like the biggest problem that we have in the Southland is not the politicians. It's the people. The people don't care. They don't show up. They're not engaged. They complain. And if they do show up, we just can't get along. So how do we think change will happen if it's supposed to be for the people, by the people? The people are asleep. So I'm hoping that this show will wake them up and at least get people to pay attention. Final words, Keith Price and Alicia Nicole. That's going to be our show for the night. And boy, will this go down in history as the most interesting start of any group on Investigate and Advocate.
Did you say final words? Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for thinking of this idea. I think it's a good idea. And for the reason that you stated, informing the uninformed, if nothing else, and getting them involved. And that ties back into everything that we said about how do we change things going forward. It's by, informing people, letting them know what's going on, doing it in a way where it's not like, where's the money going? That's not informing people. That's showing up as a complainer, agitator with no solutions. And I hope that that's what this show breeds, solutions and strategies and things that we can apply, going forward, as a community, as residents, as whatever you want to call our position. So I'm looking forward to this. It's unfortunate that Trina didn't stay on. I don't know if that'll change. One thing I will say is one reason too that I never just blatantly disrespected Trina is because I actually respect her intelligence. Now her delivery could use some work, but some of the things she says make sense. And I've listened to her even when it was like a rant or whatever, and parts of it made sense. So I don't ignore things that make sense. I listen to them. So hopefully she can come back. I just want to clarify for the audience, it is no beef. I just thought it was appropriate to address something like that because, again, I kind of was on the receiving end. I don't care about it. I didn't internalize it at all. Like she said, I could have went on her page and addressed it, but I never did because it wasn't that big of a deal. I really didn't care. But when we come on a forum like this, it's hard not to address something like that, even if it's for no other reason but to be able to move forward without that being like a chip on any of our shoulders. And it almost seemed like, and I'm just being honest, she came in here with a chip on her shoulder, at least towards me, maybe. And I'm not, and it didn't have to be that way, and it doesn't have to be like that way. So, and let me also say one reason why I didn't engage it back then, because my fight was never with Trina. So I didn't, and I know how Trina can get, and I know how I can get. And I have to distance myself from situations that can make me get completely out of character, because I will do that. And I have done it even recently, and I've had to kind of scale back and be like, wait, no, I shouldn't have did that or whatever. So that is a constant work in progress with me. And I try to steer away from situations that can exacerbate that, so that's all that is. But, going forward, and even if someone else joins or if it's her again, I feel like, we just need somebody with valid input, with a good perspective that's articulate and intelligent enough to convey it in a way where it's not off-putting and people are actually getting the message and not the malice. So, that's all I want to say. Just thank you for having me and for having this.
Yo. Can you hear me? First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me on. Thanks, Alicia. All the people who tuned in. I appreciate you all coming on. The purpose of not only this show, but the show that I'm working all the kinks out of on my own, which is Political Ties. The purpose of the show is I really feel like the Black community just accepts anything that the Democrats are doing. And a lot of times people say, Keith, you only talk about the Democrats. You only talk about the Democrats. Well, it's only been Democrats running Harvey, and it's only been Democrats all over the boards, and that's the only people that I can hold accountable to doing something in our community, because they've been running everything in our communities, in Cook County, that is. But I just want black people to understand this. We are probably the only race that if someone says they're a Republican, then oh, they the worst black person in the world. I don't see Hispanics doing that to each other. I don't see white people doing that to each other. I only see black people all out attacking each other because of a party affiliation. It's no different than GDs or Blackstones. Yeah, y'all gang banging with it, and really, they not giving us a damn thing but higher taxes. I hate that our people sit like a lot of people will say, oh, Keith, you support Trump. No, I don't support Trump. But I point out hypocrites and hypocrisy. I'm going to always do that. You can't sit and tell me that everybody that ran for president, that was a president, and anybody else, how they used to always talk about Iran is such a terrorist country, and they must be dealt with, and they must be dealt with. And then you get somebody that deals with it, and just because he's a Republican, now it's so bad. But all the Democrats said they was going to do it, and they didn't do it. I sit back and I just see the things that they manipulate us with, and that manipulation comes through media, as Malcolm X said. The media can make an innocent man guilty and a guilty man innocent. And I think we've seen that, and we're seeing it. I don't care about Trump like that. But what I do care about is when they make a big deal about deportations, and Obama deported more than everybody, and it wasn't no outrage. You know, look at what just happened to the Bulls player. We always standing up, and then everybody else fight as a people. But we got a black man that took a stand because he believed in his Jesus and his God and his religion. And the Bulls let him go. Where's the outrage? Where's the marches? Ain't nobody caring about no kings. You know, we talk about no kings, Jed, but it was Obama who said you're going to be fined if you don't get this insurance. It was Biden that said you'll lose your job if you don't get this jab, this stick for the COVID. Children couldn't go back to college if they did not take that shot. But we talk about kings. See, that's just the stuff I try to point out, man. And people can, they can try to twist it and turn it any way they want to. But that's what pisses me off when I feel like people just play black people like fools. Because they're not playing nobody else like fools, because the Hispanics voted for Trump hard. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, bro. It's sad that we live in a time where a straight man can't make a stance and say, hey, I don't believe in that, I'm not going to do that. And then he loses an NBA career. But yet you can push everybody else stuff on me or you, or they can push all that on you and it don't matter. You know, it's just a lot of stuff that I've seen going on that's just sad, bro. So, you know, even when it comes to teaching children, now, when it comes to these children, Jed, I don't believe they should be sexualized in any way. No way. So if it's heterosexual, if it's homosexual, I don't think they should be taught that in school, bro. You know, at young ages like that, because really what you're doing is sexualizing kids, children, not kids. I think some of the things that our party, or the party, I should say, the people that black people vote for all the time, Democrats, allowing children to cut off body parts when they haven't lived yet, you know, to really understand what they may be going through. It might have just been hormones or something, bro. You know, so that's really, those are the type of things that I want to address and point out on my show and also on this show. I personally, you know, it's good to have a little bit of the drama, but that's not really what I'm going for. I know it may be unavoidable when people get on talk shows and or stages, podcasts, streams, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, overall, man, I want to try to educate people and point things out. I just don't want people to be just misled and used, and everybody's getting everything. They made everybody a protected class. They still ain't done nothing for black people. Everybody benefiting off civil rights movements and all that, but black people. So, I mean, I just feel like our people are so lost, bro. And it just, that's what really hurts me, man. To see everybody else benefiting but our people. And what we do is constantly attack each other, bro. So that's it, man. I just thank you. Thank you for having me today.
I want to thank everybody for taking this challenge and for being on here. I think I'm the one that got the most gratitude. And I just want to say that the point in me doing this is I just want to be remembered for trying. I may not do it perfectly and I might not get it right. I might not be everybody's choice, but I want everybody to always be able to say Jedediah showed up and he tried. And one of the most amazing things for me is to know how deeply our disagreements were, but to know that I had the ability to make a phone call and simply ask, and everybody showed up, even if they're not staying. That means a lot to me. And I think I want to continue to demonstrate what my hope is. I think that people do stuff because of how they feel and not because of who they are. And that's like a theme for me right now. You can't address how you feel until you determine who you are. And the reason, or what I mean by that to our listeners, is simply this. If you want the black community to be healed, then you can't be attacking the black community. You got to heal it. And if it's wounded, then that means that you must be willing to take its hits and not respond with giving it bigger wounds. As an advocate, I want to be against injustice. I want to be against what separates us, what causes us to be destructive, what causes us to judge each other and to give up. Everybody knows how I identify, but I listened to Keith Price's statement. I feel that he shouldn't have lost his ability to play basketball because he had a stance. But if that stance was to hurt, then that should have been a problem. But even diving into that, I was not offended. I was not bothered. And you know why? Because I know who I am. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need you to like me. I don't even need you to do anything for me. But we could be respectful and cordial, and we can see the bigger picture because that's who we aim to be at the end of the day. That is the point of this experiment or this attempt. I want to bring up the topics that we need to talk about, and I want us to have the uncomfortable conversation, and we don't have to agree and not be destructive or disrespectful to one another. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get a producer. We're going to talk about the issues that need to be talked about. Nothing will be off the table. We do not have to disagree. We make those jabs, but we don't want to hurt each other. And then we're going to get the people on the platform. I want all of the leaders to come on, be interviewed. I want this to be a safe space. I want to tackle issues. I want to laugh. I want to talk about current events. Today, the President of the United States, for the first time in the course of this country's history, sat in on a Supreme Court justice hearing, as well as had a project stunted as it relates to creating a ballroom at the White House. That's something to talk about. It's something to talk about with the basketball player. It's something to talk about with people being shot literally a city over from where you all live. It's literally a lot to talk about. And until we can talk about it and actually withstand the conversation, and until we can do that, we'll never be able to bring a solution to it. So that is our point. I don't know how often we'll do this, but I pray to God that Alicia Nicole, Keith Price, even as he plugs his other show, Political Ties, I'm not competing with him. I'm complimenting him. If Alicia Nicole does a show, we got to get out of that. She should be able to say it and not feel like, oh, why are you doing that? But if I see her pushing her stuff or him pushing his stuff more than mine, then I'll be like, can you push ours a little bit too? But because he said it don't bother me, because all ships rise with the tide. We got to get out of the foolishness. The number one reason why the Southland is in trouble is because all the front line has been fighting to figure out who gets the most shine. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. And so I love y'all. And in the coming shows, we want to interact with our guests. We're going to get a call-in number. We're going to give away prizes. And we're going to make this hopefully as amazing as it should be, that caused almost 200 people to be sitting here with us in real time. That is crazy. As a matter of fact, let me say it differently. Those were Dalton numbers, which means people wanted to see us together and hear what we had to say. And I'm going to work like hell to keep this thing on track. And if we can maybe get her to take a medicine, maybe we'll get Trina to come back. I don't fucking know. Alicia said she wanted to say something.
Just one more thing, and this is quick before I go. I just wanted to thank everybody. I see a lot of the comments. I really wasn't watching them in real time because it kind of takes away from being able to focus on the discussion. But in closing, I just want to say thank you to everyone that showed love to all three of us, but me in particular. I really do appreciate it. This is kind of a new thing for me. And I'll be, going in a different direction or in another direction as well, but that'll come when it comes. But I just really want to thank you guys for all the support, all the kind words. Hey, everyone that said hey, and I just want to thank you. And I didn't want to not do that while they were here. And I'm sorry if I missed it, while you were saying it. But this is a blanket thank you to everyone that joined and has great things to say about all three of us. So thank you.
All right, y'all. Hope we said something that added value to your life. Peace.
Yo. Can I get in on this? I want another 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, you thought it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style.
Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya. This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gon' investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, they showing out. You smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his favor, his mercy, his power.
So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man, ain't no S on your chest. You know where help comes from when you're up or you're down. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around.
This crew